kidnapped Patar.
I see.
We spent about 2 hours trying to find them, chasing leads that he would tweet a picture, but obviously he wouldn't be where he tweeted the picture, and fucking we were in helicopters trying to find them, and he gave us a clue about something Patar and Vince used to sing to each other. Being tippy top, Vince is going to the tippy top.
Right.
What do you make out of that, just out of curiosity?
Tippy top. So it's either going to be the highest spot. So it's either going to be not Zancudo. What's that fucking mountain called? Chiliad.
Chiliad.
Or it's going to be the little islands above Palita.
Well, I wish you were awake, because
that would have been helpful.
none of us had that idea. We were checking, like, so Vince was awake. He couldn't remember where it was made up. So initially we were like, okay, where did you create, like, where did you start singing that to each other for the first time, you know?
Right.
Apparently it was like 2 years ago type beat, so Vince couldn't remember. So we just started checking everything. We checked Chiliad, we checked the top of the crane, we checked Maze Bank Arena. We were checking every like high point we could think of. And nobody thought about Polito.
He also gave us another
Not a single
clue.
person thought to go like to the very top of the GPS.
No.
He also said
Smart group of lads.
No, so the reason no one was thinking like that, like, it came across like it was a reference from like a situation, you know, like someone said that at a certain place. That's how it came across. So no one really deep dived it apart from Vince. We assumed it was a very like personal thing to Vince that happened. Anyway, he also said another riddle where he wants Mandem to be, and where he once was. Obviously referencing he wants Mandem to be on top.
Can you say that again in English?
He said where he wants Mandem to be and where he once was.
Okay.
And that was a reference to the same spot, the top of the city on the top island. Obviously, we didn't get them riddles.
That also makes sense.
Yeah, they make sense in hindsight, but either way, when he said that riddle, we thought it was swimming with the fishes and at a fishing location where he wants us to be swimming with the fishes because he's planning on our downfall, and where he once was, like, he used to fish and where he used to make money.
Okay, I get the full process at least.
So the boys went to civilian docks, and we managed to like find T on a boat somehow. It wasn't me, but when they called it out, I started hovering them in a helicopter with Saint.
Okay.
And he goes into do you know the seaside beach, the tunnel that goes all the way through to a burger shop? Me, Steve, Saint all cut them off, and then Vince and Winston followed them through the tunnel, like on boats. Winston in that tunnel was with T and Vince, and then held up Vince. Winston held up Vince.
What?
At gunpoint. Took his gun, took his radio.
Wait. Winston held up Vince.
Yes.
Or T?
No,
Winston held up Vince.
So Winston was...
What the fuck?
He's told us. Winston was trying to play a double-edged sword of trying to get on... So Winston's logic was, if Vince pulled the trigger on T, he would have killed the person with the information on where he is. But if he holds up Vince and plays the double edge of like, I'm on your side now, T, he would admit like where the location is and find out through being on T's side. But he didn't communicate that with no one. So
yeah, no, he's brain dead then. What's he
Apparently he did, or tried to, but nobody had an idea apart from Els. And when Els rang me beforehand. He was like, I'm pretty sure the words he used was Winston is being a double agent, or he's being an inside man. and he said,
I see where that could mix up things.
And he said, because he'd been giving us comms about like the yacht, right?
Right.
And there was nothing at the yacht.
I think it was more yeah.
It sounded more like that, to be fair, but so Eli said he was given those comms to throw us off the scent. So like,
Oh yeah, no,
I-
that makes
I-
you think that Winston snaked the gang. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So-
And I even responded to Eli and I go, he's been so like set on going to basements and shit, like and straight up like shouting at people when they were trying to go like elsewhere. It like it makes sense.
Another thing, we were staying in twos. He would refuse to stay with us in his two. Like everything was, he was being off. But then so Vince calls me, and is like, Winston's against us. Like he's just taken my radio and gun. I can't let the boys know. I call Steve, not knowing he was with Winston. Told Steve, and within 10 seconds, Steve shot Winston in the back of the head.
Oh, fair enough. Fuck it, bro. Fair enough.
So at that point, I don't really know how we found out, but we found out where Patar is, so we grab Patar, take him to hospital. When we get back to hospital, T's with Winston. Like Winston, T has taken Winston to go get help. So obviously we're in a hospital when Patar's
So Winston's gone then?
on his... No, we'll get to that. We'll get to it. Like I said, he was trying to play a double-edged sword of like on our side, but he didn't communicate. He's not gone. It's a massive communication, and he's made a massive error. That it's hard to say a full trust is there at the moment, but it's a very up in the air situation still. Patar's currently had his arm ripped off.
What?
Yeah, his arm got ripped off from T. The whole T situation.
He ripped his arm off.
I think it was Vince that ripped it off. I fully don't understand.
Vince ripped. Why the fuck did Vince rip Patar's arm off?
It was an accident. Like
He didn't
I
rip
wasn't
it
there,
off,
bro.
Let's
I wasn't
not
there.
word it like he ripped it off.
Yeah, no, please explain.
He was found with like no pulse, no vitals, up by the islands up by Polito.
Okay.
Me and Matt weren't there. We were dealing with fucking we were dealing with the T situation, and cops were arresting Saint.
Why were cops arresting Saint?
Because we were shooting at T. Matt and Saint got pulled over.
Okay.
I'm assuming the fact that Saint was cuffed at the construction site, she was going to climb the crane, Matt, and get away with. Yeah. So while that was all going on, I had to pull up to the construction site, smoke Suarez and Dakota, and get Saint out, which I done. And then at this point, Vince called me and said he'd found Patar, ambulance was on the way. I needed to get up to Polito. I met them at Sandy.
No breathing.
No pulse.
Yeah, no pulse,
no
breathing.
pulse, no breathing.
I used to know
like
it's my
freezing
family
to
in
the
the
touch.
back, bro. Patar's gone.
They managed to get his vitals back in Sandy Hospital, and then they transported him to the ICU in the city.
Okay.
So currently he has broken ribs, blunt force trauma to the head, and he's down an arm. He has about a 50-50 chance of survival, and he may, if he even survives, he may not remember much, if anything at all.
Okay. Who the fuck ripped his arm off? Was it T or Vince?
Like I said, we weren't there. We had his arm.
His arm
all I
was
know.
ripped off. I was there and Vince was there. I got told this morning. I don't remember, bro. Like, this was near.
Give me 2 secs. I got to shout at someone. Alright, no more sweat. Right,
Isn't it
sorry
again
about
texting
that.
you, Matt?
Carry on. So you guys didn't think to ask Vince whether he ripped Patar's arm off or
No.
not? Because that's a pretty big
We
detail.
didn't really have a fucking chance, bro. I'm gonna be blunt. I don't give a fuck if his arm was ripped off or not. It was the priority was to get him get a fucking pulse and make sure he's alive.
Yeah, but whether... Yeah, I mean, but after that, surely Vince was still there now.
Yes.
Because, I mean, the fact of Vince ripping Patar's arm off is a pretty big detail as to whether I'm going to shoot him in the face or not.
Why would he
No,
rip
it was
Patar's
an
arm
accident.
off?
It was an accident. Vince is fine. You ain't shooting them.
I'm getting some mad Matt
But
comms,
yeah,
you know.
either way, at the moment Patar's in the ICU, very unwell. Little detail we missed, pretty big one actually.
Oh, lovely. There we go.
When T brought Winston to the hospital, Winston like was trying to see Patar, and Vince told him to leave, and he wasn't leaving, so Vince stabbed Winston in the hospital.
But did you know at that point that he was a double agent or triple agent?
No,
or...
we didn't.
Okay.
So when we found out for the first time of like when, so after that happened, he got
that
helped,
was-
and when he was leaving, he let me know and tried to convince me. I was like, I don't know if I trust that, bro. Just leave. We'll speak to you later. But then Els got told more than all of us, so like he kind of trusted him and told the story.
Right.
That was the first time Vince had seen Winston since he robbed him for everything in the tunnel.
Hey.
Yeah. So that's that.
I
heard Matt told me earlier Winston's in the ICU, but he just spoke on the radio. I asked him to chat to him, and he told me, "I don't give a fuck what you have to say."
Right.